Welcome back to Nation of Glory, the place where stories breathe, legends rise, and the extraordinary journeys of extraordinary people remind us that hope, resilience, and kindness still exist in the world. Today, I want to take you through a tale that spans courage, heartbreak, perseverance, and ultimately a light that never stopped shining. It is the life journey of a man the world knows from the big screen, but whose heart and humility have built a legacy far beyond cinema. And that man is Keanu Charles Reeves. You've seen him as Neo in The Matrix, racing against impossible odds. You've seen him as John Wick, rising from grief through raw determination. You've seen him jump from buses, ride through dystopian realities, fight demons, and tear through countless high-stakes moments. But today, I want to tell you about the parts of his journey that the spotlight never fully captured, the human being behind the roles, the man shaped not by fame, but by a life that tested him long before the world celebrated him. Keanu Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon, in 1964. His mother, Patricia, was a costume designer, full of creativity and imagination, while his father, Samuel, drifted in and out of his life. Some say that Keanu's early childhood felt like a world in motion, filled with different countries, different schools, and constant change. Imagine being a young child pulled between continents, not because you wanted adventure, but because life gave you no other choice. His family moved from Lebanon to Australia, then to New York, and eventually to Canada. Little Keanu grew used to packing bags more often than he unpacked them. But something deeply human began forming inside him, a quiet strength, a sense of humility, and an uncanny ability to adapt. And maybe that is what the world senses in his eyes when he plays his characters. It's the intangible truth that he knows what it feels like to be displaced. He knows the weight of uncertainty. He knows that sometimes the world asks us to grow up long before we are ready. Even as a student, Keanu struggled, not with intelligence, but with structure. Dyslexia made reading a challenge, and the rigid rules of school never aligned with his curious, wandering mind. He wasn't the kind of teenager who found success in classrooms, he found it on ice rinks and theater stages. Hockey became a passionate love, one that nearly became his career. He had the skills, the speed, and the determination. But destiny had a different script in store for him. Acting slowly took root in his heart. He stepped into school plays, and even though he wasn't the straight-A student, he discovered something magical when he performed. In acting, he didn't have to fit into a box. He could transform, imagine, express. He could breathe differently. And for a boy who never had a stable home, storytelling became a home of its own. When Keanu's family moved to Toronto, he officially began chasing small opportunities. Little roles here and there, tiny stepping stones that didn't pay much but paid enough to keep the dream alive. Eventually, at 20, he took a chance that would define the rest of his life. He left Canada and drove to Los Angeles, a city of big dreams and even bigger heartbreaks. But Keanu had something unique. He had calm determination, a gentle resilience, and a heart that fame could never corrupt. You might wonder, how does a shy, soft-spoken young man from Toronto become one of the most recognizable action stars in the world? The answer lies not in fame, but in truth. Keanu brought a sincerity to every role. He wasn't trying to impress. He didn't chase stardom. He simply worked, quietly, respectfully, tirelessly. His breakout came in 1989 with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, a fun, crazy, unexpected hit that introduced the world to a lovable, slightly clueless character. But while Bill and Ted made people laugh, it also did something deeper. It opened Hollywood's eyes. They saw something special, something they couldn't quite label, but couldn't ignore either. Then came 1991's Point Break, where he starred alongside Patrick Swayze. The film combined philosophy, adrenaline, and unforgettable stunts. It cemented his ability to carry action roles with honesty and charisma. And just a few years later, Keanu Reeves stepped into a speeding bus for Speed, a movie that exploded into a worldwide sensation. Suddenly, he wasn't just a face you recognized, he was a star. But behind those bright Hollywood lights, behind the cheers and the applause, Keanu's personal life was unraveling with tragedies that could break even the strongest hearts. His best friend, River Phoenix, one of the brightest rising talents of their generation, died suddenly in 1993. It shattered Keanu. River wasn't just a co-star, he was a brother. Losing someone so young, so full of potential, leaves a scar that never fully heals. Yet even grief couldn't prepare Keanu for what would come later. In the late 1990s, he fell deeply in love with Jennifer Syme. They dreamed of a family. They dreamed of simple happiness. But their daughter, Ava, was stillborn in 1999. The grief was unimaginable. And before Keanu and Jennifer could find healing, Jennifer lost her life in a tragic accident in 2001. There are moments in life where even the strongest souls break. Moments when the world feels unbearably cruel. And in those years, Keanu walked through shadows that few could survive. But something remarkable happened. He didn't lose his heart. He didn't lose his kindness. He didn't give in to bitterness. Instead, he transformed his pain into compassion. He began doing countless acts of charity, many of them anonymously. Stories emerged from film crew members who received generous gifts from him, motorcycles, holidays, support during hard times. He funded hospitals. He helped families in need. He gave away massive amounts of his earnings, not because he wanted praise, but because he could help, and because he understood pain. Keanu Reeves became a symbol, not of celebrity, but of humanity. And then, in 1999, The Matrix arrived. A film that challenged reality, philosophy, action cinema, and the entire science fiction genre in one sweep. Neo's journey of awakening became one of the most iconic roles in modern film history. But what made Neo unforgettable wasn't just the special effects, it was Keanu's sincerity. He brought a soul to a world of machines and illusions. The trilogy became legendary, and Keanu's place in cinema solidified. But after years of mega blockbusters, he stepped back. He explored smaller projects, independent films, writing, even directing. He never chased the spotlight, it chased him. And yet, he remained a humble traveler through life, taking roles not for money but for meaning. Then, in 2014, something unexpected happened. A new chapter. A new legend. John Wick. At first, the movie seemed like a simple revenge thriller. But it was so much more. It was a story of grief, love, loyalty, and loss, things Keanu understood deeply. The world connected with John Wick because Keanu poured his emotions into the quiet moments. The pain in his eyes wasn't acting, it was truth. The franchise exploded into global success, redefining modern action films and bringing Keanu back into the center of Hollywood's universe. But even at the height of John Wick's global fame, Keanu remained the man you'd see giving up his subway seat, or patiently signing autographs, or quietly supporting charities without telling anyone. In a world obsessed with glamour, he chose gratitude. In a world chasing fame, he chased goodness. People started calling him the internet's boyfriend, a nickname born not from romance but from warmth. It's what happens when millions of people feel a connection to someone who embodies humility in a time when humility feels rare. Throughout his life, Keanu has taught us that you don't need perfection to inspire the world. You don't need a flawless past, or endless wealth, or constant happiness. What you need is kindness. What you need is resilience. What you need is a heart that remains open, even after it has been broken. Today, Keanu continues to act, to create, to give, and to inspire. His story continues to evolve, but one thing remains constant: the quiet, genuine humanity that makes people admire not just the roles he plays, but the person he is. If there's one message his life delivers, it's this: no matter what shadows you face, no matter what pain you carry, you can rise. You can keep going. You can be gentle, even when the world is not. And sometimes, being gentle is the most powerful thing of all. And as we close this journey through Keanu Reeves' remarkable life, remember why his story resonates across the globe. It's because it reminds us of our own struggles, our own hopes, and our own ability to heal. It tells us that success doesn't make you great, how you treat others does. And Keanu Reeves, with all his fame and all his loss, stands as one of the greatest examples of staying human in a world that often forgets how. Thank you for watching this story here on Nation of Glory. If this journey touched you, inspired you, or reminded you of the power of kindness, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this story with others who might need a moment of hope today. Your support keeps our stories alive, and together we continue celebrating the legends that shape our world. Thank you, stay blessed, and see you in the next video.